Today in our 2011 Toyota Sienna, we're going to be installing Derale Series 8000 plate fin transmission cooler. This transmission cooler is going to help extend the life of your transmission. It's an auxiliary supplemental cooling system for your transmission to further cool the fluid. What this means for you is that if you use your vehicle for a lot of heavy towing, that puts a lot of extra stress on your transmission, which builds excessive heat. This cooler will help dissipate that heat and allow it to operate more under normal conditions, extending the life even when under those stressful towing conditions. We'll begin our installation at the front of the vehicle by removing our front grille here. There are several pins across the front center at the top that we're going to remove using a flat-bladed screwdriver. Pop out the center first, and then you can pull the pin out. We're going to do that for all the remaining pins. Now that we've got all our pins loose, we can pull back on our grille, and starting on one side, just work your way down, popping it out, and now we can set it aside. Now we'll need to remove our under shield so we can access our lines. There's a couple of push pins we'll remove just like we did up top by popping out the center and then pulling the whole pin out. And then there's about a dozen screws along the bottom or on the outside that we're going to need to remove with a 10mm socket. The small mud flaps on the front will also come off. Now we can take it down and set it aside. And this will give us direct access to the transmission lines where they go into our cooler. We've got one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side. Next, we're going to tap into our factory cooler's return line. If you want to verify which one is which, you can start your vehicle and the hose that's warmer is going to be the outlet and the cooler one is going to be your return. So we've already tested those here, and the outlet is going to be the one towards the passenger side, and the one towards our driver's side here that is shorter is going to be our return. So we're going to take this clamp off here, slide it back, then we're going to get this hose removed. Now we don't want to take it all the way off just yet, we just want to kind of break it loose and get it pulled out some. Now that we've got our hose nice and loose and just about all the way off, we're going to prepare our new cooler's hose. So I'm going to use a little spray lubricant in the ends to make it easier to slide them on. Now we'll take the adapter that comes in our kit. We're not going to be using the threaded portion, just the hose portion. It's going to slide into the hose that comes in your kit. Now that we've got our hose on, we'll take a clamp that comes in our kit and we're going to tighten it down. You can use a flat screwdriver or a 1/4-inch socket to do this. And when you tighten your clamp down, you want to make sure you've got hose on each side. You should feel the bulge in the hose here from the lip that's on the adapter. You should have some excess on the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and spray the other end here. Now we're going to get prepared to put this hose on. We're going to slide hose clamps on each side, and then we're going to quickly pull this off, slide our nippled end into the rubber end, and then slide our rubber end onto the vehicle's nipple end. And then we'll tighten down our hose clamp. We'll now route our hose towards where we'll be mounting our cooler. We're actually going to go through the opening here at the bottom driver's side of the radiator. Now we'll mount up our cooler. So we're going to put our cooler in this area around here. We're going to be using the plastic mounting hardware that comes with the kit. These actually slide through your condenser and radiator and have nuts that go on the other side that just click into place. It works similar to a zip tie. Now we'll take our hardware. We're going to slide it through the cooler first. Then we're going to slide it through the rubber pads that come with our kit. just a single pad. We'll peel off the adhesive backing on that. We'll now get our cooler mounted up to about the area where we want it. So we're going to put the cooler at about this location. And when you push this through, you should see it coming out on the other side. Now we'll take the nut that comes in the kit. We're going to slide it on with the small nippled edge here facing away from our radiator. And as you can see here, we've got one installed. It is going to have some excess poking past your fan, so we're going to trim that down with a pair of cutters later to make sure our fan doesn't contact anything. We're going to repeat this same process for the 3 remaining corners of our cooler to get it all mounted up. And this is what it'll look like when you've got it mounted up. Now we can take our hose and cut it to length to fit on our cooler here. Now it doesn't matter which side goes where, the cooler can flow in either direction. So I've gone ahead and marked my hose after kind of holding it up and seeing where I need to cut it to have the appropriate length. We're going to use a pair of hose cutters to cut it. We want to use these because it cuts it nice and square and clean. Now after you cut this, some fluid might run out, it's okay. We won't lose too much because we're going to be sliding on. So we're going to cut it real quick. Now we can take our hoses and slide them onto our cooler. Make sure to put a hose clamp on first before you slide it on. So we slid our hose clamp on. Now we'll slide the other end onto our cooler. Then you can tighten your clamp down. Now we'll do our upper hose in the same way. You are going to have to provide your own clamp for this last hose because only 4 comes with the kit, but in order to use the adapter with our Sienna, it's going to require that additional hose clamp. Since we're not able to use the screw end of the adapter and we had to clamp on it, you'll have to provide that extra clamp. And now with everything installed, we can start it up and check for leaks. And now that we've checked and we've got no leaks, we can go ahead and put our grill and undershield back in place. And that completes our installation of Derale Series 8000 plate fin transmission cooler on our 2011 Toyota Sienna.